Dear friends, I deeply regret that I could not be present today in third Chisinau Forum. We have started this forum, very important in my opinion, with my dear friend Yuri Roshka. I am very grateful for him to continue this important initiative, and I wish you all the success in your important work. What I would like to say about multipolarity. First of all, I would suggest to continue to define what is multipolarity. I have written the book on multipolarity that is called The Theory of Multipolar World. It is translated in English and French and other languages. And I think that now we could speak that multipolarity is not only the slogan, not only the words or the phrase, it is a kind of theory. But I would like to stress as well some other aspects. Recently, in this summer, I was present in Beijing on the international conference organized by China Institute of Shanghai, led by Professor Zhang Weiwei, very important persons with assistance of greatest political thinkers of China and other countries from Pakistan, India, but as well from the West. There was a panel organized during the course of this conference dedicated to Western vision of the world. And there was very, very high placed American and European experts there in the panel. Among them, there was the advisor of the head of United Nations, ex-ambassador of United States in Russia, Mark Fall, and many others. And their panel was organized after first part where I have described the theory of multipolarity, supported, full-hearted supported by Chinese experts, by Indian, Pakistani experts. So there was a kind of Asian version in favor of multipolarity, at least Russia, China, India, Pakistan, Islamic representative. And I have remarked one thing, that answering direct questions of Chinese journalists there during this panel, every representative of Western delegation avoided very, very carefully, but very consequently avoided to use the word multipolarity. So they tried to speak about multilateralism or about democracy, about globalism, including about friendship, pluralism. But when they were asked directly, all of them, in favor or against multipolarity, nobody responded. Nobody used the word multipolarity, multipolar world. So it is not the case. They could not identify or put the total identification between multipolarity and something that they really that everybody hates. For example, nationalism, racism, fascism, and so on. They could not use their normal vocabulary, demonizing their opponents. So multipolarity couldn't be turned easily, at least easily, in the pejorative concept. So it is rather scientifically or democratic, pluralistic. It sounds good. Finally, it sounds good. Multipolarity. But there is a most important point. But if they accept multipolarity and try to redefine its meaning, they accept the end of Western hegemony, the Western imperialism, and to give to the other the equal rights to decide the future of humanity. The other are the poles. The other are Russia, the other are Chinese, Russians, Muslims, Indian, and so on. Latin America, Africans, so everybody. As Huntington said that, citing Toynbee, the West and the rest, if they recognize equality with the rest, and that is the essence of multipolarity, so they put the end of their pretensions to lead globalization, that is unipolar world vision based on projection of Western, modern, Western, liberal or postmodern values. So the essence is precisely that. If they accept multipolarity, they should accept the rest against the West or besides the West in the equal term. If they reject multipolarity openly, they will sign by this gesture the formal declaration of their still persisting hegemony. So if you are not in favor of multipolarity, that means that you are in favor of unipolarity. And if you are in favor of unipolar world, it is you who is racist, fascist, anti-democratic, imperialist, and you want to still control the world by this imperialist or neo-imperialist means. That include not only physical or political military domination, but as well economic, cultural, technological, and so on. And that is very important, that the term multipolar world, the term, the word multipolar world is already the weapon. It is conceptual weapon, and more we use this word, more stronger we grow and weaker they become. So that is important. Their insistence of not using the word multipolarity, it is a kind of psychoanalytical symbol that they fear that. They perceive that as a danger, and that is the danger for unipolar still existing, at least in the mind of globalists and or so-called world governments. There is still unipolarity. They pretend to avoid the use of unipolarity, but they still defend unipolarity. It is still there, because otherwise that would accept multipolarity easily, trying to bargain the better conditions of their continuation of living in this multipolarity. But they reject the word, they reject the term, they still reject the concept, idea of multipolarity. That is the fight of the names. And we need, in order to promote multipolarity, we need to use that more and more and more. So and I am very, very happy to say our Chisinau Forum has has chosen the right name. We need to promote multipolarity, and we need to fight against unipolarity, hidden and open. Today, it is small few persons that could dare to defend openly unipolarity, as, for example, some American neocons or some crazy globalists of Europe. But this, if not unipolarity, we should fix the situation. If you're not in favor of unipolarity, you should be in favor of multipolarity. It is logical law. They try to avoid the logic. They try to make confusion using the word multilateralism. What is multilateralism? Multilateralism, it is continuation of unipolar world order, where United States, as leader of this world order, gives some power to its vassals, its allies, so-called allies, its puppet, in order to pretend to distribute the power. But that is not distribution of power. It is distribution of duty to follow United States, but pretending to do it with personal agreement. It is a kind of to sign the paper that you are not against a kind of master-slave relations with the United States, and signing this treaty, you could pretend to behalf on to act on our behalf. It is trick. We need to show that is still a trick. That is unipolarity covered. If they really put aside unipolar world, they should accept the other poles of decision. And that is the second point of my speech. In the same conference, McFaul, American expert McFaul, ex-ambassador in Russia, has said that Russia could boast could pretend to be a pole, but Russia is very weak economically and socially. And I agree with that. That is correct. He had said as well, China is much more stronger economically than Russia. It could compete with the United States or with Eastern Europe, but it is still weak militarily and geopolitically. And that is as well the truth. But the multipolarity is to put all our positive points or all our weapon together. Because multipolarity, in order to establish the just multipolar world, we need first to finish with unipolarity. And in that sense, Russian-Chinese alliance creates the real danger for the unipolarity. And that is the real step toward irreversible multipolarity. Russian nuclear weapon with Putin's will to continue to defend Russian sovereignty, and China's economical growth that has put China in present trade war with United States. So that is of crucial importance. Russian-Chinese alliance is already the fact of multipolarity. And McFaul could not say nothing against that. The only hope for them to split this alliance and to deal with Russia in an isolated way from China, and to deal with China in an isolated way from Russia, to split, to divide. And that is the only way to still to continue to conserve multipolarity. Interesting thing. Recently there was the Vladivostok Forum in Russia, where the central person was Prime Minister of India, Modi. And as well, India shows more and more signs in favor of multipolar world order. Not in favor too much of China. There are some disagreement between two countries. Not so much in favor of Russia. But India sees more and more and more its place in this multipolar world vision. So I think Russia-Chinese alliance creates necessary conditions for affirmation that there is already multipolar world order. There is very big, a great danger of the West, globalist West, that try to preserve unipolar world structure. But it is the last dragon, that is wounded dragon that tries to make maximum of the harm to the other. But it is mortally wounded. So the wound of this dragon is the deadly one. So it is very important. When there is Putin's nuclear Russia and the growth and the rise, economic growth of China with Xi Jinping and Communist Party, we are already in this multipolarity. This multipolarity is fragile. It is not too stable, but it is already something. We are behind the point of no return. The symbolism of Modi joining the club is very, very important. And I propose to you, the participants of this important conference, to consider that situation, world condition, and to work on what would be European Poland that our European friends should, I suggest to elaborate more and more how Europe can be reorganized on the term of multipolarity, or how would be relations with Africa, with Arab world, with Islam, with United States, with Russia, with China. It's very important. At least we need to have the plan. The present European leaders, except maybe some of them as Matteo Salvini or Marine Le Pen, but as well they themselves also, the majority of European leaders have no vision, clear vision of future. The existing liberal elite tries to save unipolarity. It is impossible. The present European elite tries to save liberal world order. It is impossible. It has already ended. We need now to recognize it is kind of the kind of phantom pain they feel. European Union is a phantom pain, as precisely Soviet Union. So European Union is over. It is illusion. And we need to accept that as a state of facts. But what will come next? That is the problem. What will be the Europe? What will be the European role in the multipolarity? It should be discussed. It should be decided. We should prepare the ground for this. The same for Islam. Islam is misrepresented by radical Islam, so we need to find a new formula, new presentation of political Islam as well. It is not enough to continue post-colonial structures of national states in Middle East. That is completely. We need to recognize the failure of radical Islam, Salafi, Wahhabi Islam, as the project. It is not compatible with the reality. Reality check shows that it could not go further. So we need to concentrate on the position of the Islamic world in this multipolar world. The same for Africa, the same from Asia, the same from Latin America, and the same from United States of America. United States of America should find its place in this multipolar world. And I think, not maybe Trump himself, but Trump's voters, they have elected this future for America. Very great American future in the context of multipolar world. I wish you successes in your work, in your discussions, in your panels, and I suggest to go strong and strive in this direction toward multipolar world. And we should not only observe how it is working or how it is arriving, we should create that, we should construct that, and we should as well secure the interests of our great civilizations in this participation of this greatest creation of our just and really democratic future. Thank you. Best wishes.